EEE EDC back again with another knife video. This is the titanium scales from Rockscale Designs for the Para 3. I put it on the Para 3 Maximate. I really like this knife and I decided to go ahead and upgrade it with some Rockscale Designs scales. Now these are keyed up, I should say, for right hand tip up only, but I really like these scales so far, and they add a lot of solidity to the knife. I will say they don't, at first blush, they didn't feel, crazy different from the G10, like in hand when they're on the knife. But as I start to use this more, I can definitely tell that they're there, and I appreciate the titanium over the G10. So I'm glad I bought them in the end. But if you're expecting to absolutely be blown away by titanium scales on the Para 3, I would probably say you're not going to be. This has nothing to do with Rockscale Design, but I would say that the fact that they're still just flat scales, they're not contoured, are a big reason why I don't think there's a huge difference in hand feel between the titanium and the G10. I'm just being honest with you guys. That being said, the solidity and the nice feel of metal in your hand, I think, does make a difference for me, a big enough difference for me to want to keep these scales and continue to use them on my Para 3. Now, why didn't I do a disassembly on this with the scale swap? I started to, and then I stabbed myself in the finger with a screwdriver, and that wasn't pretty. So basically, if you've ever taken apart a Para 3, you have the pivot, which is a T10, you have the screw here, which is a T8, you have the same on both sides, you have the stop pin here, which is just held together by the two scales, and then you have the lanyard tube. Now the lanyard tube is not a straight line up and down. It is flared up and flared down. So as a result, getting it off is extremely difficult, and Sharp Dress Knives makes a tool for this that you can actually use to push it out. It's a little vise that sort of shoves the lanyard tube out of it. Probably I should get that for when I do my paramilitary 2 disassembly. But these getting this off was very difficult. In any event, the way I got it off was taking out these two screws, pulling this up, and swinging it around using this lanyard tube as a pivot. Ultimately, you work it back and forth, twisting it while you're, pulling it up and down, and then eventually it'll free up. So that one side will be completely off, and then the lanyard tube will be stuck to the other side. So how do you get it off the other side? Well, I ended up, I've seen some videos on YouTube, which probably I saw too late, of someone who pops them out by, if you don't have the Sharp Dress Knives, by putting a very thin screwdriver, long, thin screwdriver, like one of those longer eyeglass screwdrivers or longer bit drivers. In any event, they wedged them in between the steel liner and the scale and worked it down until they got to the lanyard tube, and then sort of pulled it back and forth, and it popped out. And that seemed to work pretty well for the gentleman that did that on the YouTube video. I didn't get a chance to do that. It was already out by the time I did it, but I forced it out in a way that I probably wouldn't advise, which is I used a little bit of a pliers. Now, me being an idiot, I forgot to, protect the lanyard tube with some sort of medium in between, like rubber or paper towel or something. But in any event, I did get it out, and at the end of the day, you can't see a ton of, damage. You see that one line to it, but it is what it is. May get a backspacer at some point or get a lanyard tube filler. But in any event, how did I get them back together? So, I assembled one side, I put the blade back in, I put the steel liner on top, and then I swung out the steel liner and the top scale, and then I sort of worked it back in the same way I got it off. And that seemed to work for the most part, except it's still, I would say it's 97% of the way in. As you can see, there's a little bit sticking up there. I can't seem to get that out. As a result of that, it's fatter at this end, so that means it's being forced together at this end. So as a result, I'm sort of losing some of that drop shot action here. I'm going to try to maybe get a rubber vice grip, which I've seen on here, and push these together with that. And I'll let you know how that goes. If probably I'll do a follow-up video when I get the lanyard filler here, and we'll see what happens with that. So, yeah, but in any event, I do enjoy the Rockscale Design scales. As you can see, my Maximit is getting a little bit of a patina here, but natural patina, which I like. And this has been an excellent knife for me so far. So let me know. Oh, but one other thing, the lynch clip that I have here is stone washed, and as you can see, it sort of matches the blade more than it matches the scales. I'm going to try it, and I'm going to keep it on here for a little bit. If I decide to, I may change it out with a sand washed one, because I think the sand wash might fit these scales a little bit better. In any event, I hope this was helpful. If you if you've had adventures taking apart a Para 3, go ahead and drop a comment below. Let me know about that, and go ahead and hit the like button, hit the notification bell as well as the subscribe button, and go ahead and check out my other content. Thanks so much.